you can get one or more of those kind of things with the phone itself, then you don't have to give them a wearable. They just download an app, and then in that app, there's the education, there's the ability to make measurements, there's the ability to log how they're feeling, and then there's an ability to communicate with the medical system somehow. I don't know if you could even have a telehealth app or something that you could do a video call, to anything to try to catch it before they get to ER. These are things that could be done with just simply a phone. So kind of when you think of a concept in its minimum viable form, you could pull it off just with a smartphone. It only gets better if they have a wearable, or if they, have been using a wearable and tracking. So if they're a little high-end user and economically they're able to afford this, it can only get better. So probably for the adult, it's something. You will have a segment of your population that would be able to afford a wearable and probably want to be more health conscious overall. And that would be the premium type of solution. But the starter kind of solution could start with just an app, and maybe your app has the ability to work just with the phone, and then it also can work with the wearable. So you could design a single app that, the user selects, do I have a wearable? If so, which one? Do I have a phone? If so, which one? And then it gives them the user experience based on what they've got. That's a more complex app, but, you could do it that way rather than have two different apps. I mean, to me, I like one single app, and you just find out what the user has, and then, it adapts. Again, it depends, how you're going to financially justify this, but if it would be justifiable, the preferred method, in my opinion, would be one app with those features and capabilities. Otherwise, if you wanted to just get something started and prove it, maybe test it, then I would say just start with what could you do with a phone, and can you get some measurements, some biometrics. I think the other thing too is if you do it with the phone, and the phone has like a fingerprint detector or a face ID or something like that. That way it helps just, it's them. It's not someone else, No telling how people can, cheat the system and work around it. But you have a lot of the high-end phones now are adopting some kind of biometric capabilities. I even wonder, you mentioned about the damage to the retina. It'd be sad, but there are phones that have retinal scan capabilities, like Samsung phones are using that for the biometric ID, and they can map the retina. So if there's any correlation between, certainly the degradation probably would be noticeable enough to where, gee, you don't map anymore. Oops, you probably need to see your doctor, because your retina now has changed enough to where we don't recognize you, or we can give you analytics on how good we recognize you. So there'd be some kind of indication of trending in the retina, possibly. Again, I don't know if it's permanent retinal damage or, if they can recover, but there are even capabilities with biometrics to look at the retina. So, yeah, any thoughts on that?
No, this is great. I'm capturing all the insight. This is something that we haven't thought of, but we'll definitely look through and consider as we evolve kind of what our optimal solution should be. A question for you. So